about me when making their lineups.
What about you, Chris Spags, as we go with your new nickname, as we go live Thursday, April 25th. Can't get enough of me. I'm back. No green background. I got the lasers.
Ooh,
We've got a 5-gamer.
I'm excited. I'm excited for the lasers. I don't think I've been on with you when you've had the lasers.
What about... I can hear myself.
No, my bad.
You're good, man. You're good. You're good.
There we go.
So,
okay.
I have talked about this slate quite a bit. I'm anxious to get your thoughts on all of the ridiculous things that I'm doing tonight. So, I'm going to throw this back over to you and let you do.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I was getting my Rangers lineup. Otherwise, I would have done the intro. That is my favorite thing to do. But hello, everybody. Welcome to the Awesemo.com Live Before Lock show. Now I feel better. I got that out of the way. Jeff Mathis not being in the Rangers lineup threw me for a bit of a curveball because that was not what I was expecting. But unfortunately, I'm ready. So I'm going to back you up on one of your takes just to start. I know we're going to go through a bunch of stuff, obviously. Use the promo code Live Before Lock if you want to get half off your first month of any package at Awesemo.com. A lot more premium content on there, including ownership projections, regular role projections. You can put in a fantasy cruncher and rankings. So go check it out. All right, I had a hot take, or not a hot take. I had a stand today on my Four Corners video, which is a short form video I do on this channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel, do that so you see all the content we put out. I'm back on Rick Porcello.
I'm with you.
I know you are. I listened to the deeper dive, and I was like, oh, no. I guess we should disagree about it, but the strikeout numbers in that lineup are pretty good, and the Vegas total is held steady. So I'm riding with him with the field, at least.
All lineups are now out. And hitting 9th for the Angels, Luis Rengifo, which is a person I'm not familiar with.
He's actually a Pokemon, Rengifo.
Okay. Congrats on knowing that.
No, I don't know that. That's not actually a thing that is information, but it sounds like one, and you believed it. You know there's a Pokemon that's just a set of keys?
No, I don't.
There's a podcast I listen to whose name I won't share, but it starts the C word in town. A lot of people who are watching the show probably listen to it, or have listened to it or heard of it. And it's a popular joke on there, but apparently there is actually a Pokemon who is just a literal set of like house keys. And that's how bereft of ideas that they are right now for Pokemon.
What's his name?
Can
you say that?
Find it fast.
You can. It's not important.
No, it is. It is. Klefki. He is a small grayish-white Pokemon resembling a key ring with 4 keys on it.
We're just running out of stuff in the world, huh?
I just thought that struck me as something, and it's he's no Rengifo, but he could be hitting 9th for the Angels sometime coming up soon.
Well, if they're running this guy out there, I think that I could be hitting 9th for the Angels sometime soon.
It's not impossible.
We got it is. I don't have a swing anymore. My shoulder
I'm sure
shot.
You could get back in there. You got those thick thighs. You could drive it.
I actually don't.
Really?
Yeah, oddly thin legs.
I would assume from all this time sitting on a chair over the last year, you would have grown some thicker thighs.
No, the waist down, real narrow.
That's in case anybody's been wondering. You've been seeing, actually, you know what? I guess out of thousands of streams at this point, nobody's seen your lower half. You could have literally, you could have an announcement where you're like, by the way, I don't have legs. And that could have been like a real special.
So I'm wearing a Teresa Giudice shirt right now. Yeah, normal legs. Normal.
Showing off those gams, huh?
Yeah, it's the gam cam. I'll get another webcam for under the desk. How's that, everybody?
It would be like being in an aquarium, sort of a pornographic aquarium. All right, so Rick Porcello, look, let's close the case on him. And you gave your case on the deeper dive. I'll give mine. He's been terrible to start the year, but still not giving up a ton of hard contact. And this Tigers lineup they have out there, 26.6% aggregate strikeout rate, which is one of the better ones on the slate, just behind another chalky pitcher, Aaron Nola, with the Marlins lineup. I'm willing to go to him. I think it may end up blowing up, and that's fine. I have some hedge stacks, but he makes a lot of lineups work. And I'm a little bit afraid of Caleb Smith and just the amount of people. And I think part of our roles where we're doing these pieces of content all day and you hear a lot of talk, everybody's down on Porcello, even though we're going to have ownership on him. But his ownership has actually come down throughout the day. I think a lot of people have talked themselves off of it, but the Vegas total and the strikeout numbers seem like they're there. So I may regret this, but you're on it too. So we're good.
No, I'm with you. It's a really great spot. It's as good as it's going to get for Rick Porcello. It's 7 righties, Two switch hitters that aren't that great against righties. Candelario in particular, significantly better against lefties. I mean, this lays out as good as it's going to get for him. Revenge narrative, right? The former Tiger.
Oh, that's a big one. That is a big one. Almost as big as the birthday narrative for a pitcher. I need to get my John Means victory lap on the show, even though that was not on. I wasn't on live before lock yesterday, but I was in the chat. John Means, hell of a day, huh?
I don't know. Did he?
He did. He had 6 innings of 1-run ball. And
I don't even mean that to try to be funny. Like, I don't know what happens other than the performance of my lineups.
He had like 18.5. They pulled him, I think, at the start of the 6th, and then he got the win too because they held on like barely. Once he came out, it all went to crap for the Orioles. But John Means is pretty filthy. He had a really filthy changeup. I was talking to somebody on the Four Corners video who like watched it too, and we were just talking about John Means and his great stuff.
Hey,
it's gonna get blown up.
I'm glad that worked out for everybody that played Means. And there was not a direction I was going, so I certainly didn't have any Means coverage.
And yet, despite that, the winner, at least in the quarter tournament, the max 20 I was in yesterday, was I think actually Jordan Lyles. So actually, if you went to John Means, you would have won that tournament if you had just done the same lineup, but not gone Jordan Lyles.
Yikes.
John Means, my dude. I guess hedge stacks against Detroit. You talked about the guys there involved. Castellanos to me, okay, as a one-off. I'd rather go one-offs, I think, than a full stack, but I do have a couple 3-mans of Castellanos, Cabrera, and Goodrum. And Candelario hitting in the leadoff. I don't love him. He doesn't have a ton of pop going against a righty, but that's fine. I think you could put him in there if you want. Boston on the other side. Let's talk about them real fast because they are going to be the most popular stack. Actually, I have a question for you because I put this in here just so I kind of have an idea of it, but I want to make sure I'm doing it right. How are you calculating your cumulative stack ownership percentage?
I add them all together.
Okay. I didn't know if you were doing it like an ownership product thing or something like that.
Oh, no.
Okay. So yeah, that's what I did too. So they're going to be a very high owned stack overall, 26% on DK, not far off everywhere else. A lot of shown ownership everywhere for pretty much everybody besides Sandy Leon, who's going to be under 10%. But everybody else in the lineup on DK going to be above 19. Which guys are you getting to the most, and which guys do you, I guess, want to force more to?
All of them.
They're pretty even.
All of them. Yeah, all of them. I mean, not a lot of Sandy on FanDuel for obvious reasons. But yeah, all of them. It's the best spot on this slate by a country mile. Jordan Zimmerman, terrible. Everyone but Sandy is at least like average or better in the Red Sox lineup. 5.6 run implied. It's just really good. So cue up 1-run Jordan Zimmerman performance, I guess.
I actually did put in, I think maybe 1 out of 20 or 2 out of 20 Jordan Zimmerman lineups just because I'm so heavy on the Red Sox today. I guess the one caveat you could say is they haven't hit for much power this year so far versus right-handed pitchers rather. Isolated power.
Like they did the same thing last year too, actually.
Yeah. I think they started pretty slow and then they ran, and obviously it turned out well for them by the end of it all.
Shook out a little bit differently for them by the end of it all.
Yeah, I would call it a hunch. I would say that worked out well for the Red Sox winning it all.
They're not mad.
But they're due for positive regression all around. All the guys, look great across the board. I think if you could justify skipping anybody, it would probably be Mitch Moreland out of that top group, and then maybe go down to one of Bogarts or Devers. And I don't even hate Chavez.
I disagree there.
Really?
Yeah, just because he's a first baseman and the rest of that top of the order is 3 straight outfielders, it makes it harder to get to like full-on stacks. So Moreland would be a guy that I would definitely want to keep around if I had to do it, and I would drop one of the outfielders just to make my stack easier to get to and make it easier to fill out the rest of my lineup.
Okay, look, I have a ton of Moreland, but I feel like compared to the other guys, his batting average isn't quite there as much versus righties, and that is something in terms of like a tiebreaker. I do use that as a qualifier. So I would say for me, I think Moreland is the most skippable out of the group, but he's not like worse than Devers or Chavez or anybody like that. I just think, if you're trying to get a little different, that would be one place I would look, and then get a better first baseman in there maybe.
I would probably drop Benintendi and keep Moreland. And I love Benintendi, especially leading off. A little bit less, but just to make my stack easier to build out the rest of my lineup. Okay. This is all like super semantics. They're all fantastic, and I'll have all of them in a lot more exposure than that. So,
yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm very above the field here and have different configurations. And if they don't go off today, I don't know, man. It's the best possible play you can make, I think, on the board.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like in every possible way. Just to, I guess, go over the reasons why. 5.7 implied runs for Boston. Jordan Zimmerman, if you play DFS, for the most part, he'll have moments of brilliance, but for the most part, a lot of hard contact allowed. not a lot of strikeouts, good amount of hits, pretty much everything. Doesn't really miss bats that well. Not terrible, but not as terrible, I guess, as you would think. But for the most part, gets hit pretty well across the board. And again, that run total, far and away the best on the slate.
Yeah, I'm running my FanDuel crunch right now since I have 40 minutes of extra time. Thank God.
What a treat for you.
I'm very happy that I don't have to worry about this too much.
Let's go. Let's talk about the other chalk pitcher of the day. We talked about Rick Porcello, I guess. Well, one of the other chalk pitchers of the day. Aaron Nola, also going to be very highly owned today. 3 implied runs, which would be in his favor, I guess, and that is the lowest total on the slate. Miami, the ownership is coming down a little bit according to our projections at Osmo.com. They were going to be a little bit higher owned, it looked like earlier in the day, but people, I guess, are talking themselves less into hedging against Nola. I have a little bit of Marlins. I think that's fine. They're super cheap, but I have a lot more Nola. His stuff hasn't been there this year, which I think is certainly a risk. But this lineup, if he does have the stuff, and I think everything else numbers-wise looks like it's still okay, he should get back on track today, I think. What do you think?
Yeah, I love him. He's my favorite pitcher of the day. He's my best dollar for dollar option on FanDuel. He's just a hair behind Cole on DraftKings, but those two are my guys. I expect to have, I don't know, more than the field on Nola and just a lot in general. It's the best play of the day.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like you could make an argument just because of his numbers being so bad, but even that, with his numbers being so bad, he still had 10.1 Ks per 9 this year. Still not giving up a ton of hard contact, 30%. I think if anything, it seems like he's getting mostly unlucky this year. His BABIP that he's allowed is 350, so that should come back down to earth. He's been more of a 260 BABIP guy over the last year plus. It just seems like he's been unlucky more than not, and also the home run rate is a little high. I think that's going to come down. Miami, just no danger at all. They're terrible. They're the worst in everything versus right-hand pitching so far this year. So
they're just bad in general. No qualifiers necessary.
Yeah, I think that's about right. If you were to hedge, though, and go against Aaron Nola, any of these guys, would you want as a one-off or as a stack, or how would you approach it?
Yeah, so I anticipate having a little bit on the opposite side. Less so on DK, more so on Yahoo and FanDuel. But Granderson looks fantastic. Just super cheap. Doesn't have to worry about righty-righty. No real issue going to, like, if you really need to hedge stack, like Prado, Anderson, Walker, let's be clear here. It's not good. Very little power. But if you need to do it, it's there, and it won't cost you essentially anything. But Granderson is really the only bat. Neil Walker for $7 on Yahoo and $2,100 on FanDuel. Also, I guess, as appealing as something can be against Aaron Nola.
Right. Yep, I think that's about right for me. I do have some Prado. Actually, no, I have a couple of stacks in the middle of the order, mostly one-offs or 3-mans, but not a lot there. I probably didn't get enough Granderson as I should, given that he's so cheap at hitting leadoff, and maybe Nola gives up that one home run early, and Granderson has the power to do it and then gets back on track. I think that seems like a reasonable outcome to think of.
I just finished my FanDuel crunch, so I can give out like legitimate FanDuel thoughts.
Yeah, go ahead. Give people what you're seeing.
Let's hit refresh and find out. First, let's change that to 150. Bingo, bango.
And I'm also curious, well, obviously your Nola part, but I'm curious about your Caleb Smith exposure, because I think we should talk about him too.
It'll be none or very little.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I guess the price isn't as good on FanDuel.
Right? There's only 200% to go. Well, on FanDuel, I'm not even worried about it. But on DraftKings, it's one of those things where I already have 190% going to Cole, Nola, and Porcello, so I'm just kind of running out of real estate. I mean, if I have him, it's going to be like 1 or 2%. It's certainly way less than the 24 that he's showing, and I like him. That's neither here nor there. But he's pretty clearly like my 4th best option, and I'm prioritizing the first 3 pretty aggressively. Okay, crunch is in. Refresh on the FanDuel table. 33% Garrett Cole, 46%. This is all FanDuel. 46% Aaron Nola, 19% Rick Porcello. I did get to 2% Trevor Cahill. Shout out to Loppy for that one.
That's a stance. That's a stance to take. Sure, 2%.
Yeah, I would. It's like milk. Awful. Top hitting stacks. So Red Sox are still my top, but I am coming in under the field. They're just really hard to avoid, especially because like Cole's not that expensive. Aaron Nola is $8,700. There's no barrier of entry to the Red Sox today. So I am clearly getting to the Red Sox. Phillies, my number 2 stack. I am twice the field. That's probably my biggest stand. And that is surely because Caleb Smith is getting a little ownership as well. So that's bumping them up. And you can't even roster Sean Rodriguez on FanDuel. So this is coming into just 7 guys. And I got to clear my throat.
My dog's vomiting behind me, so that's why I keep looking back. If anybody's watching the video feed, just bark somewhere, hopefully safely. That is not near my electronics, which I'm not thrilled with, but we'll see.
You're not thrilled with your electronics?
Well, I'm not thrilled with the barf being near the electronic.
Yeah, that's reasonable. That's reasonable. Wait, is that brown dot next to your face like a huge pile of it? Or is that like a toy or something?
No, that's a toy.
Okay. It's just like a brown dot that you could tell me was a pile of like dry kibble.
No, it's like a ring. It's like a ring bone thing.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't have the context. You're really tiny on my screen.
Okay. Yeah, and then the other dog, Penny, just went over to sniff the vomit and confirmed it's there. So thanks, Penny. Really helpful.
All right, Red Sox, Phillies, top 2 stacks. Mariners coming in third. Didn't really expect to get that, but I'm cool with it. They grade out with a really high upside. They're just really cost prohibitive. As for like the Tigers are the second most owned FanDuel stack. I have less than the public. I have basically no Astros and very little Angels and Yankees. So those are the spots that I'm under the field most. But I'm hitching my wagon to Red Sox, Phillies, Mariners.
Okay. Yeah, I think the Phillies, I'm not there so much, but I think the run total is there. Just Caleb Smith just grades out so well this year. I mean, a .87 whip. He's really good. He's missing bats. He's not giving up anything, not giving up home runs, 11.4 Ks per 9. And that's, just up a little bit from last year. So it's not like it's an unreasonable thing that's going to bounce back down to earth. And Philly I think this lineup strikes out enough where I think Caleb Smith is going to be popular enough where going against him makes sense. But I don't know. I like him enough where I don't want to see him get shelled today.
I'm a fan. Like on a different slate, I would probably end up having a lot of him. He just happens to be behind like too much quality for a random day.
Yeah.
And the rest of his team sucks, so he gets penalized by, at least on FanDuel, having very little chance of picking up a win in a quality start. On DK, a very little chance of picking up a win. So not that factors in too much, but he's just getting a very microscopic amount of the 4 points you could possibly get.
Okay. That's I guess that's a fair take. I think for me, the thing is I went to Caleb Smith whenever I couldn't afford Porcello, and I still wanted somebody who I wasn't stacking against, and that would be Caleb Smith for me. And I think he has the stuff to get strikeouts today. So I think there's risk certainly with some of these guys, a lot of power, a lot of guys who get on base, and that could bring some danger. But Smith is he grades out as an elite pitcher based on his performance so far this year, and I think his stuff last year wasn't far off from that either.
I might be having some heart problems here. Best value, Tyler Wade. That's a comment in YouTube chat. Tyler Wade, ooh. 74 weighted runs created plus via steamer and a 104 ISO, batting 9th today.
That's not that
I'm not
great.
sure I'd play him if he was $0.
Yeah, and his ISO going back to last year, 92 at bats versus a righty, 0.085. So that's
if Tyler Wade is the best value play today. Kudos, man. Kudos. That is a hell of a take. Are you him? Are you Tyler Wade?
He has an NYC nickname there, Van Dam NYC. Maybe that's Tyler Wade's just a big Jean-Claude Van Damme name or fan, and he's also an NYC right now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or Rob Van Dam, perhaps. Any rain on games? Anything weather-wise you're worried about? I don't think I recall anything.
I never looked.
Yeah, there's nothing. There's some clouds, I think, in a few of the games, but nothing overcast in Seattle. So watch out for
the only weather that existed was Atlanta, Cincinnati.
Yes, that was a problematic weathercast. According to our weatherman Alex at Awesome Weather on Twitter. Follow at Awesome Weather if you want weather updates for free. No premium gate for that one. We're doing that one just pro bono. So go follow at Awesome Weather on Twitter if you want to get your weather updates. All right, let's go to the other chalk pitcher of the slate, Garrett Cole, going against Cleveland. Cleveland projected for just 3.3 runs, so it is a spot where Garrett Cole's expected to have a nice day. And Cleveland to start the year been terrible versus right-hand pitching, but having Francisco Lindor back in there hopefully will get them back on track, but perhaps not in this spot versus Garrett Cole. I like Cole. I have a good amount of Cole. I feel like he's the guy I'm curious to leverage against because I think he's going to be owned pretty highly, and people just think Cleveland stinks, and they have stunk this year. Hard to deny that, but they seem like they can get back on track. So what do you think about Cole? And I guess what do you think about going against Cole?
I love Cole. I think he's fantastic today. I got caught up. I was laughing through a lot of that. Jay Kelly just slayed me in Slack. If Tyler Wade is the best value play, consider me Miles Davis.
That's a good reference. We guess we can't say the actual reference, but that's a fine one.
Sure, you can.
Well, if isn't it essing in your pants? I don't want to.
No, pee. If pee in your pants is cool. You can consider me. But it's that old lady from Billy Madison.
I thought it was. I thought she pooped her pants.
Now, pee in your pants is cool. Yeah, because Billy goes out and slaps the water onto his jeans because that other kid pees his pants on the school trip.
Oh, you're right. Okay, yeah. In my mind, I was just like, oh, remember that time that old lady talked about crapping herself?
The poo part is in the bag on the porch. So they used them both in that movie.
I may have mixed up my various bodily excrements that were in. But anyway, go on.
No, I love Garrett Cole. He's my second favorite guy today, depending on the site. It's an average strikeout matchup, but I'll just take it. He's really, really, really good. He's the only guy on FanDuel for me that projects north of 40 points. Aaron Nola coming in just a hair behind that. On DK, he and Nola are the only guys over 20. All the signs for me point to a lot of Garrett Cole. I can't avoid him today.
Yeah, look, I got there a lot too. I think I was willing to pay down and go to Nola a little bit more so. And, we talked about our love for Porcello. So I did end up, I think, with a little more. I have a little more Cole than Porcello, but I'm not with where the field is, which is going to be almost half field on Garrett Cole today on DraftKings. I just think there's some risk here. Like Jose Ramirez going back to last year is a very good hitter versus right-hand pitching. And, Lindor not far behind does have pop. Like, I feel like there's danger here. I mean, granted, Cole is better from guys hitting from the left side of the plate, but he does give up above league average home runs to righties. I think that's something worth noting. And, I think out of all the guys, he's the one I'm willing to go against for a little bit of leverage. Not a lot, but a little bit. You talked about your lack of Astros exposure on the other side. What about your Trevor Bauer exposure?
I assume it's 0.
Okay.
Yeah, straight 0 on FanDuel.
What is your take on this? Because I know you gave some thoughts on the deeper dive about it, and then we'll go to home run picks because it is the halfway point of the show.
What's my take on what?
On Trevor Bauer and why you're not trying to go to him even though he has good stuff.
Oh, yeah. Look, Bauer's fantastic. I don't want this to seem like it's some sort of indictment on Trevor Bauer. It's the fact that the Astros don't strike out at all. There are 6 guys in this lineup that have projected K rates of 16% or below. That is insanely low. They have a weighted runs created plus in the aggregate of 119. Trevor Bauer can have a good game, but for him to just go out there and mow through this Astros team and give up no damage is would be like a really crazy game. For him to have like a solid GPP game for today, we would talk about this game all year. Like we would have to remember it the entire season. It would rank as one of the better performances of the year because it's the degree of difficulty is so high and you don't get extra points for that. There's no multiplier for rostering Trevor Bauer because it's hard.
Sure.
I get that he's good. So are the Astros.
Yeah, I think if the slate didn't have Aaron Nola in a perfect spot, I could see going to Bauer a little bit more so because he's at kind of that price where it works. He's still a little bit cheaper by Trevor Bauer standards, but I agree. These guys just do get on base, and they're going to make a mistake at some point. I don't know. I don't mind going to him. I think going to him, if he gets a him and Cole, which actually is a possibility, that's an interesting build to me because I could see this being a pitcher's duel situation with 2 kind of alpha ace pitchers out there. But I agree for the most part. Didn't get a ton of Astros for that reason. I have a good amount of, not a good amount, but a sprinkling of Altuve and Bregman just because they work and they're good guys at second base and third base. But besides that, I'm mostly with you. But I have a little bit more exposure to Trevor Bauer because, could be just a 9-inning game for both guys. A 0-0 one at the end.
Sure.
Speaking of 0-0, let's go to the home run picks. That's not literally 0-0. Might as well be.
What, is Jake making 2 picks?
No, unfortunately, 0 for Jake is still on the board. I guess, or off the board, depending upon your worldviews. If you want to be a glass half full guy. But yeah, on the year, it is 0 for Jake, 2 for Josh, 3 for me, and 3 for Emac. So let's get these numbers up. What are you doing today, Josh?
Let's find somebody that I like a lot that I'm not really on for anything else. Ooh, don't want to do that. That's scary.
I could set the bar for you if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going with JD Martinez. I want to get a home run today, and I think he's a really good shot to get a home run today. I'm sure he's high in your model. He better be high in your model.
Number 1.
All right.
Number 1.
And so if I'm wrong and JD Martinez doesn't hit a home run, it's really Josh's model's fault.
No, still yours.
I think it goes to the model. Tie goes to the model.
I'll take Mitch Moreland.
A guy who has hit a home run for me this year. You can have my sloppy seconds if you so decree.
That's fine. Are you drinking a Bud Light or is it Pepsi?
It is a Bud Light.
Thought so.
It is a Bud Light. I'm going to see Avengers at like 6.
You're going to see the wrong movie today, man.
What is the right movie?
John Wick 3 comes out today. What are you doing? Don't go see that Avengers trash.
Why did they book it the same weekend? I guess in case people are like sold out of Avengers and they're like, I got to see something. I'll see John Wick 3.
They should be going to see John Wick 3 before they go to see Avengers. Boban gets a book shoved in his mouth, man. That's worth the price of admission right there.
I love John Wick, but I'm surprised. So, like, we should talk about this real fast. So, Marvel movies, I'm surprised you don't like, because the reason I like Marvel movies is they're like the best version of pro wrestling, where it's like very simple, good guy, bad guy stories.
Got to pause you right there. It's not that I don't like them. I've just never seen them.
Okay. I think if you did and you invested the time, and at least the core ones, I think, especially if you had gone in from day one, I certainly am very excited about it. I love John Wick as well, but like that's not a day one movie for me. Whereas like this, I don't want to get spoiled. There's already leaked copies of it out there. Like I'm just trying to get through, see it. But I like John Wick, but it's certainly not like an event that I have to see. It's gonna be a depressing weekend between the Avengers movie and Game of Thrones.
One of those things is true.
I mean, like with John Wick, I think if you're going to make an argument, like I think it's weird. I talked about this on some piece of content I did. I do private content outside of Osmo, and I would say that sounded more exotic and erotic than it probably is.
You cam girl.
Yeah, I have a Patreon, but I don't show my jugs for anything, unfortunately. But maybe one day if the money were there. But I was thinking like, it's weird that we invest so much in these things that are designed to make us sad. Like Game of Thrones, you're investing in characters. Last week's episode, no spoilers, but it's like about investing in characters before there's this big dramatic battle. And, because of how the show goes and how television storytelling goes, people are going to die. In Avengers movie 2, it's the last one out of a 15-year opus of stories that people are going to die. And you're paying to be sad. And you're like investing a lot of time to ultimately feel kind of bad about yourself, which is kind of strange.
Dude, what do you think DFS is, man? 99% of the people listening to this are paying to be sad every day. Well, we are happiness merchants. We are trying to give you happiness so that you don't have to be sad.
That's true. I mean, look, I know for me, whenever I have a good lineup going in a tournament and the rest of life isn't going great, once you see that little green, that turtle swimming to shore when it's...
I'm being told that John Wick does not come out today, but when I typed this in, it showed up as 7:15 at my theater today.
Maybe there's a special showing. Maybe it's original John Wick, and they're doing one of those things where they show the original to get people excited for the new one.
Yeah, I think I might have just whiffed really bad on this.
I was gonna say I didn't think it was now because it was on my radar significantly, but
I saw a tweet about it from a guy I trust. I searched for it and saw the showtime, and then told my wife about it this morning.
Well, so you got to apologize to her. I'm sure she was lined up and ready to go to John Wick 3.
She was like, good, then I don't have to go see this with you.
Well, no, John Wick 3, yeah, I didn't think it was. I thought it was a May release. It would be terrible to go against Avengers, but I could have seen like doing a contrarian approach to movie marketing would have been to have it come out with Avengers. Then when it's sold out, people go because you're like, I got to see something. John Wick's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm scrolling back through the Twitter feed of the person that tipped me off to this.
Mark Smith, it's also 3 hours Spags to go prepared. That is why I'm drinking Bud Light now, my friend. That is called foresight. Get the right level of buzz and then maintain it for several hours. No one would drop a movie on the same weekend as Endgame. I agree. That is traditional movie marketing, but things changed in 2019.
He's going to a private screening today.
Oh, is that what the John Wick is?
Yeah. The person that I saw tweeting was going to a private screening.
There you go. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
what a VIP. You should be that person's friend.
Yeah, I would love to.
All right. So let's go back to DFS. We have a lot of things to talk about. Well, I guess not a lot of things, but enough things to talk about here. Let's talk about Taylor Hearn, because I think whenever people see a new pitcher on the slate, they don't know. I mean, there is sort of a baseball thing where you don't know the pitcher's pitch types and all that, and that can somehow give a guy an advantage when he's new to the majors or coming up, and he has good stuff. From everything I saw of Taylor Hearn, he's got okay strikeout stuff, but not somebody I'm trying to get to today, especially with a 4.7 run total going against him. He does give up walks, is what I also saw today, but I don't have these numbers in front of me. I assume you're not a big Taylor Hearn fan, but what do you think about him and going against him?
Going against him is fine. I can't imagine wanting to play him today. He's just too expensive. Like, if he were 5,200, he'd be like a really interesting play as the only pay down option. But he's 7,200. There are just too many other like Caleb Smith is $100 more. I can't, in good conscience, not do that. He's only $600 cheaper than Porcello. I can't do that. So I just can't imagine getting to him at that price tag.
Yeah, I agree. I think on DK it works because he's near the minimum. The only guy who's cheaper is Zimmerman, and I think the thing that worries me more, and I think this is also to not answer your question, but to talk about why perhaps the Mariners were so overpriced, because I know you guys talked about that on the deeper dive before this with Laffy. They've been really good versus left-hand pitching. I think they're actually the best team in the league versus left-hand pitching so far this year. Getting on base of 386, 295 ISO, 160 WRC plus, batting average of 282. All those would be tops on the slate. And towards the higher end, I'm pretty sure they actually are the best. But, I don't know, you rate that. But that, I think, would be why they would project well. But it's hard to pay almost $6,000 for Mitch Haniger, $100 less than Mike Trout. I don't know how you justify that at much volume.
No, they're way, 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 way too expensive on DraftKings. Yeah, they're my third highest exposed team on FanDuel because their prices aren't stupid high.
Right. Yeah, Haniger's like in the 3,000s, right, on FanDuel?
I think he's 3,900. No, he's 43.
Oh, okay. Close enough.
Yeah. I just ran my DK crunch. I'm only playing the four-seamer or whatever it's called.
Okay. What do you got?
So 20 max, but 100% to Nola, 55 Porcello, 45 Cole. Top stacks, Red Sox, Rangers, Phillies.
So 100% Nola.
100% Nola.
Is that a move you normally make, or is it just a unique spot with him?
Both, I guess. It's not a move that I don't make. It's just, it is what it is. Like, I didn't try to get it. He just happens to be in the 20 lineups that grade out best to me.
Okay. I think that's fair. I like Nola a lot. 100% Nola seems tough, but I think I'm in the 70% range on my max 20. So I can't argue it that much. It's pretty a negligible difference.
How far down in my list would I have to go before I didn't get a Nola lineup? Oh, not much further. So 4 lineups down is Cole Porcello. So my 24th lineup is the first one that doesn't have Nola in it.
I guess from his price perspective on DK, especially where that pricing is very affordable. I can see it. I think it's hard to argue it, but for me, like I could also afford going. I mean, Porcello obviously is a cheaper option, but I could afford going to Cole. I could afford going to Bauer. I thought there were some other ways to go about it to get, I guess, pitchers I would consider safer than Nola. So that's what I did in a few lineups, but it's hard to argue he's not 100% guided at.
Top Notch asked a good question. If Bauer was the same price as Nola, who would I play?
Still Nola, I think.
Yeah, Nola by like a lot.
Yeah. I mean, the Vegas total thing is really what puts it over the top for me. And he's going against Miami, who, there's enough data to support them being not good and not due for any sort of things to get better. Whereas going against Houston, there's, even if it's a 50% chance of that going south, that's much higher than Nola's, I would think.
Yeah, I would have Nola. Bauer would have to be like, if you flip-flop their price right now, I would still have more Nola.
One quick tangent back. Chase Hunter, people are invested in Marvel only because everyone else is interested. I would disagree. He also calls Marvel chalk, which, okay, that's fairly clever.
That's really
but I would
funny,
say that
actually.
That's not the reason. So good job, Chase Center. I'll give you the half props. That's not why I care about it. I care about it because it's very simple storytelling that also I happen to have invested in for the past 15 years. I'm not a comic book reader. I did watch like some of the shows, like the animated shows as a kid. But I just think it delivers what it promises. And I feel like I also like WWE, and I think it's a similar kind of psychology where the hope is that you're leaving these events feeling good about yourself, and you build up and there's a catharsis and a release. And I think Marvel just does it much better than at least WWE does currently.
I was going to say, to be fair, WWE also garbage, so that's not a great selling point.
No, but that's more contrarian garbage.
That's for sure.
It's less ownership on the WWE garbage.
WWE is like when you try to tell me CC Sabathia is a good play.
He was not yesterday, and I did not
say
that.
He was really good 15 years ago, much like the WWE.
Fair point. I do think, though, I do deserve props. I didn't go to CC Sabathia yesterday. I went with a younger arm, and I'm not giving myself pats on the back, but in this particular one, I'm not that guy. But I resisted my urges to go with the fat guy who's been around for 20 years, and I went to a young arm whose birthday it was.
There you go. Whatever gets you off of CC Sabathia is a positive move, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's like going to like a methadone clinic. You just got to take a step in some direction sometimes.
No idea what you're talking about.
Are we actually, or are you just not because you don't want to say it on the show?
Oh, I understand what you're talking about.
Well, like methadone, because you're addicted to the worst drug, so you go to the thing that's also equally addictive but not as harmful.
Sure.
That's John Means. John Means your methadone.
Perfect.
Let's talk, I guess, more about this Yankees-Angels game real fast. And then we should also build the lineup because we do have some time.
Yeah, let's do it.
But if you want to pull that up while I do this, but I feel like we should just talk about this because Trevor Cahill is a guy to go against. I mean, if you're talking about pitchers on the slate, he is somebody who gives up a lot of hits, gives up a lot of home runs, doesn't really strike guys out terribly well. People have talked about this Yankee stack today. I didn't get there much. I think Gary Sanchez seems a little expensive, but I'm interested, I guess, because he has pop. What Yankees are you trying to get in there, if any?
So on FanDuel, the most I have of anybody is 9% LeMahieu. I'm mad at Gary Sanchez, so I don't have him today. I did get LeMahieu in a couple lineups on DraftKings, 2 lineups with Gary Sanchez, and in the shock of all shocks, because he's $2,800, I do have one of my 20 lineups on DK with the man, the myth, the legend, Tyler Wade.
He is the best value on the slate, like scientifically proven.
Clearly.
I'm glad you got a little taste of Tyler Wade. When he has like a 40-point day, you're going to be glad you got that.
If he has a 4-point day, he almost pays off 2,800.
Oh, here's one guy I want to ask you about because I go, like, it's not in. You know what? I still have to take him out. Crap. Jeff Mathis not on the slate, so never mind. That question is irrelevant.
Yeah, I don't have an answer for you, man.
I don't know what to do, honestly, for those lineups with Jeff Mathis right now. Jeff Mathis was going to be, or was a projected lineups. He was 2,200 on DK. He's not a good hitter and not a good player, really, from a fantasy perspective. But that sort of pricing really helped me do a lot of things, and now I got to actually get off that.
Dude, if I bank this tournament with the Tyler Wade lineup, I am going to be insufferable, even more so than usual tomorrow.
I feel like you would have to go to that guy and be like, thank you for putting me on this value. You were so ahead of the curve, mister.
I would go burn the money in front of his face.
It's also an approach. Different strokes for different folks.
I would get $4,000 in ones and light it on fire in the street in front of his apartment.
Very mature response to somebody who just wanted to celebrate with you and find joy, find happiness. All right, where are we starting?
I'll Venmo you $10 to buy dinner.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice to do that. That's when, after you burn money in his face, though.
Yeah. I'm not gonna burn money. That's craziness. I will throw change in the garbage, though.
Oh, I don't throw change. I actually have like a gym bag full of change from the last 10 years or so, which one day is going to pay off big time. I don't know when, but one day. All right, let's build this lineup. What would you go with for the first stack? I presume we're just going to say Boston, right?
So I've got it open for DK. I'm using our lineup builder. So let's start with pitching.
Okay. Aaron Nola, you want to go there?
I mean, I would be pretty comfortable going to Nola. So do we want to go Nola Porcello and try to load up on bats?
Yes, I think that's a play that I support, and yep, I think let's do it. Let's not be heroes. This is what we believe in. This is what the Vegas totals and the strikeout numbers say. So that's 2 positive flags in favor of that approach.
Let me start over. Hold on. I need to grab a different tab.
Okay.
I want to get the real information while I do this. So
you want that real uncut stuff?
No, I want like our data in it. I was using the like an incognito tab, but I want to know all of like the fun stuff.
I want to know.
Okay, so Nola in, Porcello in. Does that mean we're going Red Sox bats as well?
Yeah, I think we're going Red Sox bats.
And then we'll try to get unique with our one-off so that we don't have as much chalk.
Yep, that works.
Okay, so let's try to do a better job than we did last time. Let's get Devers is a BA, so I think the Devers is a pretty natural answer.
Okay.
I want to pick 2 of the 3 outfielders for right now. We can see if we can pivot later, but give me the 2 that you want the most. Is it Betts and Martinez?
Yeah, I think it has to be. Well, what are the lefty splits? Zimmerman is a little bit worse versus lefties, so maybe it's a Benintendi. We get a little contrarian, go Benintendi, and then save 200. Yeah, let's go Benintendi and Martinez.
Okay, that's fine with me. So that's 3. Can you go to 6 total in DK? I can never remember this stuff because I don't play DK ever. Can you go to 5 plus the pitcher?
Yeah, you
can. Okay, so that's 3. We need 2 more. Right. No Bogarts. Do you want to go Bogarts Moreland?
Yeah, I think that's fair. All of our home run picks are well represented, so I'm okay with it.
All right, so we need catcher, second baseman, outfielder. We have $11,200 remaining.
We're not going Caleb Smith, so I could say Real Muto. It just feels like an okay play, but I don't know. Maybe Sanchez might be the safer play.
0 for 4 with 4 Ks yesterday. Sanchez CD ratings right now.
Who would be the best rated catcher that you think is appropriate? Because I'm just looking at price.
So we're looking to pay up a little bit if we can, because there's not any sort of fantastic value. So it's either we pay down and go to someone like Kiner Falefa, which I don't really want to do. So let's try Real Muto. That gives us $3,200 to spend on a second baseman and an outfielder.
Wait, how much to spend on both?
$3,200 each. $6,400 total. So we might have to take a step back somewhere.
Yeah, so I guess how we get one cheap Red Sox in there?
Well, I'm taking a look right now at second baseman and seeing if there's anything that stands out.
I wouldn't get opposed to going Chavez over.
How do you feel about DJ LeMahieu leading off for the Yankees second base, $3,300, only $100 above the average price we need. He's a CA rating right now.
Yeah, I mean, Cahill pretty bad versus lefties, giving up 9.4 hits per 9 going back to last year. So I'll take it. I'll take that LeMahieu then.
Man, we would have been able to fit in Curtis Granderson as our final one-off outfielder, but since we have Nola, that makes it kind of tricky.
Yeah, you could still do it.
But that's not how I want to do it.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I mean, the bullpen not that great for Philadelphia either. If you want to, I guess not bad.
We only have one option of a $3,100 outfielder. It'd be David Fletcher, and that's not a direction we want to go. So we're going to need to drop somewhere.
I think going to Chavez. Now we have LeMahieu in there, so we can't do that. But Chavez would be a guy I'd be willing to pay down for a little bit on the Red Sox. But I would have replaced. I would have probably replaced Betts, to be honest, or Benintendi. No, we took out Benintendi. I would have replaced Benintendi.
And replaced him with what?
With Chavez.
One of them's an outfielder. The other one's a second baseman, third baseman.
Right, so then we'll get another outfielder.
So you want to take LeMahieu out?
I think so.
That scares me. He's really efficient from a cost perspective. Okay, so now we have 2 outfield spots open.
For how much each?
$3,500. Really not a lot.
No. Where would you recommend stepping back then? Because it's hard for me without seeing the lineup in front of me to know where I'd want to go.
So we can go to $3,300 Cole Calhoun, which would give us $3,700 for a second outfielder. Calhoun, leadoff spot, lefty-righty matchup. I don't hate that a ton.
Yeah. Tanaka's worse versus righties.
30. We can make that into a This is tricky, man.
It seemed so easy in the beginning. You know what would help? Jeff Mathis. He opens up a lot of things, man. I'm telling you, it's upsetting going through these lineups.
Okay, so I added Nomar Mazara because he's 3,300. We have $400 left. It gives us a 2.81 GPA, so that's better than we did the first time.
Yeah, we're improving. I think we're moving in the right direction.
But I certainly see some tweaks to be made. I mean, we can step back off of Real Muto and upgrade pretty easily if we want to.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's put our best foot forward here.
Okay.
Get a little better.
Okay, so let's step back off of Real Muto. What's the best catching option we can do that's not a $4,800 Real Muto? I mean, even just taking the $400 savings to Gary Sanchez is probably the answer. Yeah. No one really grading out all that well.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He didn't grade out well. Who's the best graded catcher then?
Real Muto.
Oh.
BD or Kiner Falefa is D/B.
I could take Kiner Falefa going against Gonzalez, to be honest. I don't hate it.
All right, so now we have an additional 2,200 remaining. I'm taking out Colt Calhoun and Mazara. We have 4,400 apiece on two outfielders. That's appealing.
I don't even know who would be the first I would go to there. Are we doing one-offs for this, or are you trying to stack?
I have one idea. We take Chavez back out. We put Betts back in,
and then go back to LeMahieu.
Yeah.
Okay, I support that.
Because now we have that lineup back in, and we have a $4,700 spot for an outfielder.
Okay, I'm all right with that.
And that should get us like a really good outfielder, right?
Yeah, I think that would be Betts.
What?
Or that would be Betts.
Betts is already in. We already have him.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. You can't get to Haniger at 5,600 though. So close.
I would have been nice. I honestly don't mind paying for him if you can afford it.
How do you feel about McCutchen leading off?
Oh, I like McCutchen actually.
We got him by $100. GPA 3.17. Look at us.
What? All right, we're moving up.
What? Play that stuff. Get that paper.
Yes. Guys, you're allowed to steal that lineup. We'll allow it.
Y'all can have it. This is the goods.
Yeah, please. We don't sell lineups here. We give them away for free through a laborious process. I hope that was fun for you. Please chime into the chat. Let us know if you want to see more of that, because that's one where we assume it's gratifying in some way, but I feel like that was a good lineup though.
I'm happy with it.
That was a lot of back and forth to get there, but I think we did okay. Stack the Tigers. No, that is not a belief we have today for this at least this one lineup. PJ Clemens.
No, they are. I do have them fourth on FanDuel. Let's see if this lineup at all or came up at all for me, which I assume that it didn't. But I already closed Fantasy Cruncher, so I might not even know.
Well,
I like it, man. I'm a fan.
Put it in there. Pop it in.
Well, I'm not gonna play it.
Everybody watching this play that lineup, and let's see how it turns out. That would actually be a pretty fun little shtick. I mean, it would look like we're selling lineups, but
yeah, for sure.
Like 10 people in the top 10, all with Osmo logos, with the lineup we gave out in our show for free. Wow,
it'd be sick.
It would be pretty funny.
Okay, let me see if I got anywhere near this lineup in the crunch. So we got Nola and Porcello. Then we got Betts, JD, Devers, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I do not have this. So I have two lineups with Betts and JD in it with Nola and Porcello. One of them is Benintendi, Betts, Martinez, Devers, Moreland. Real Muto, Sean Rodriguez, and a one-off Dylan Moore.
Okay.
And then one of them is Moreland, Chavez, Devers, Martinez, Betts. A Kiner Falefa, Delino DeShields two-man stack with Tim Beckham as a one-off.
I don't hate that, actually. I think both of those are fine, too. I like ours. I
like the one we built ourselves the most. I really do.
Yeah. I mean, look, that's the reason I hand build for the most part, is like I feel like I lose a little something in translation, even though obviously it's much easier to mass build a bunch of things at once. I feel like there's a little bit of love that goes into each hand built lineup that helps you out.
Boston equals bust via Sean V, so now I feel even more confident.
Look, I do have to say in DFS, every time that everybody is on something, it goes south.
Every time, every day the chalk busts.
Yes, every single day. No, like when it feels though overwhelming, I just feel like there's a point of critical mass where it feels overwhelming, and that's actually sort of why I went back to Porcello. Was like a lot of people were just like Porcello was getting blown up, so I was okay going back to it a little more.
Ooh, I need to message Eddie and tell him not to go live yet.
No, I didn't even know if he was going live. I was actually going to ask that because something in the chat was just saying. Can Eddie talk for an hour about the showdown slate? Eddie can talk for an hour about a second half slate.
Yeah. He can give you an hour on the third quarter if you needed it.
The man knows how to fill the air. I would not worry about Eddie being able to talk for an hour about a showdown slate.
I totally forgot to update this before because I did the deeper dive.
I didn't even know we had him, so this is a bonus to me. I'll be watching him when I build my lineups once we finish.
Feel free to bounce some questions off me if you've got them while I grab like thumbnails and stuff. Who plays tonight? Nuggets, right?
It is the Nuggets at the Spurs.
Trying to find a live before lock picture that I have that has one of these dudes on it.
Yeah, I'm sure we got a Jokic in there somewhere.
It gets tricky. A lot of the images end up being like NBA DFS strategy images, so I try not to use them. It's a balance.
Yeah, you gotta. Where are you getting images from? This is unreal. Where do you get yours from? Because I think are we using different sites for them right now?
I don't think so.
You're getting from Icon Sportswear?
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like you get really good ones. You do a good job finding images.
I'm a curator.
No, apparently. All right. Let's. If you have any questions, by the way, drop into the chat right now. We will answer them for you guys, or talk about them, opine on them, however you want to do that. We got 5 minutes to lock, so get them in there now. Also check the premium Slack right now to see if we have anything. Legalized, our boy asking, is Dixon playable? Dixon, one part of that potential going against Porcello situation. Do you find Brandon Dixon to be playable?
Brandon Dixon. Yeah, I actually think I have him in like 2 or 3 lineups.
Got a lot of power, or not a lot of power, but enough power.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with it.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with it either, and he's been hitting really well to start the year, which doesn't matter, but really hot to start the year, so I don't hate it, and he'll be under 5% owned on DK. A lot of people be going to Cabrera, or not a lot of people, but most people be going to Cabrera for that first base option. So,
I just realized I never uploaded my lineups.
That's a helpful part of the process. For anybody watching right now, upload your lineups. That is a key.
Story. Too much going on, man. I got a lot of balls in the air, so to speak. Is today Thursday?
It is.
See, that's what I mean. I have no idea what anything is anymore.
Yeah, that's what happens. That's what happens with these schedules, where weekends have no meaning. Why no love for Forsyth against a lefty? I do have actually a little bit of Forsyth, but no love because he has a .059 ISO and a 204 batting average going back to last year, and he has a 0.6 home run rate, 0.6% home run rate. So I don't have a ton of love.
I don't know if I even have him or not. I'm searching for him now.
I know I have him in 1. I do know that because I did think it was cute to go to Texas a little bit because they're so cheap.
I have 5% on FanDuel and 35% on DK, but that's only 20 lineups. So he's in 7 of them.
So you are supporting him then. So there you go. Never mind. That's why we're not talking about Forsyth. Josh didn't realize he had a third of his lineups with Forsyth.
It's only 20 lineups.
No big
Sounds
deal.
Extreme.
Sure. I've got a Cahill, Zimmerman, Angels, Rangers stack lineup. Get you some. That is a very unique contrarian lineup, and I can't argue it, even though there's a million ways to argue it. My friend.
Oh, I can. I'd be happy to.
Just point out how every part of it's probably a bad idea.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's fair. I can't hate on anything. It's the amount of times you've seen random BS win a tournament in MLB. Is very high. So
that does not make it a good idea.
Fair point. Fair point.
That does not make it a positive EV decision.
Okay, you're right. Dude, we shouldn't advocate. I personally think it's your money if you want to do something crazy and you think that's the approach.
Oh yeah. That. Look, I totally agree. People should do what they want to do with their own money.
But
we
generally,
also
the
have to
approach
be
would
like, yo, that sucks too.
yeah, like follow a little bit more of the obvious roadmap and then differentiate in a few spots would be generally what you would advocate for tournament building or any lineup building.
Yeah, you don't need to go. You never go full contrarian.
You don't want to do that. As the good friend of ours, Robert Downey Jr., I'll be seeing just a few short hours, would say.
What do you mean?
What?
What do you mean?
That's his quote from the movie.
What movie?
From Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, I know. Why are you going to see Robert Downey Jr.?
Because he's Iron Man.
Oh man, dude, you can't be telling people that shit.
It is actually, he's one of the heroes who doesn't have a secret identity, so it's totally fine.
Weird.
Yeah, he's out there. He's out there in the world. He's got his little goatee. He's ready to go. All right.
I don't get. So why is he allowed? Why can he be a public? Like everybody knows who he is, but Superman just puts on glasses and like, who's this dude?
Well, that's the DC universe, so that's totally different. That's a different situation. But
it's pretty much the same universe now.
I'm
not saying they're overlapping in any way, but what we're talking about are the exact same things.
Marvel has more guys who are known, I think, as being the person, like the superhero. Like Captain America, people know he's Captain America. There's not like a secret thing. They know he's like an unfrozen caveman lawyer with superpowers.
Isn't this just WWE versus WCW right now?
It's not dissimilar. No. Yeah, but WCW, you have the weird, like you throw a guy over the top rope, you get disqualified rule. So like there are little variations and spins on things.
Sure.
Luke Allmeyer, second in GPP yesterday, hoping for first today. I hope you do, Luke. Just keep plowing, my friend. Keep plowing.
Depends which tournament it is, man. If it's anything that I'm in, I hope you stick in that second spot.
Tyler Tinsley asking Vogelbach or Santana. Which of the two would you go to? You're going with Seattle players.
The site would help, but obviously we're not getting that. So Vogelbach or Santana. Santana, and it doesn't matter which site.
Yeah, it would be Santana for me slightly, but Vogelbach very bad versus fellow lefty pitchers and a somewhat limited sample. But
he's
Santana,
really bad against left-handed pitchers in whatever sample you would like to find.
Yeah, I have 30 at-bats going back to last year, so I don't know if that's not enough. But Santana also pretty bad too, so either way.
8% reduction to his quality when he faces a lefty.
There you go. And he's got a lot of power when he's not facing a lefty, so that's a significant drop-off.
We are locked, by the way. I hope it's not 7-10. I got nothing left.
No, we are in fact locked. You finished your marathon of 2 streams back to back talking about the same 5 game slate.
It's a tough squeeze, man.
Before you guys leave, hit that like button. The likes help us out a lot. We don't really pander for likes as much as we should, given that that's sort of the livelihood of things. So help us out, balance out for the fact that we don't bother you guys with it. Hit that like button before you go. And of course, use that promo code live before lock. We do have a lot of content going on. Still have NBA Showdown content. We actually have ownership projections for Showdown, which have their own special page. So you get an all sport package. You get all the MLB content we have, as well as his NBA stuff, which will also have free things going on with Eddie. He's going to be doing a stream shortly if he's not already doing it.
He's live now. I just dropped the link into the chat.
There you go. He is live now, so check the chat for that link. But also use the promo code live before lock. Get an all sport package so you can get all the stuff that we're doing. I also have premium articles in NBA 2 every day if I could tempt you. So go check that out. Anything else, Josh, you want to hit before we call it quits?
Myself. I would like to hit myself at this point.
Hopefully Aaron Nola and Rick Porcello have great days. So these are takes that I don't feel fantastic with. The Porcello one in particular, but we're riding, right?
Yeah, let's go, Rick.
Go, Rick. You know what? Rick Sanchez, another great Rick. Maybe Rick Porcello will be inspired by his namesakes.
Maybe. Maybe he just gets bombed and he's just like, that doesn't matter. Infinite amount of Rick Porcello's pitching today.
And then he's going to get one of the some sort of weapon that shoots a laser with the head.
Yell that a
lot. That needs to come back. Speaking of things that need to wrap
soon,
up.
Right?
Hopefully.
They re-up for like 8 years or something.
Well, because they do so many like ad campaigns in between. That's why the seasons take so long, which is a bit backwards.
It's also a fantastic show that I would imagine is terribly exhaustive from a detail perspective.
Yeah, I mean, everything animation-y takes a while, even in the advancements we have with technology.
And they care very much about like continuity.
You do. That is an important part of the show. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Go enjoy Avengers. Go enjoy John Wick. Out in theaters now. That's
out in theaters next month.
We'll talk more about John Wick as we get there. But thank you guys for watching. We will see you again soon. Good luck.
Later.